Well, I told myself we were going to put out the Amuran Ancestry Anthology video today, but I guess we're talking about Magi and Summoners, aren't we? Why? Yes, what's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. The Secrets of Magic class playtest is out. The Magus and the Summoner are running around with us once again, so you know we got to talk about it. Remember, if you're liking what you're seeing, to like, subscribe, and ding the bell, so you can stay caught up on all your Pathfinder 1st and 2nd edition stuff as it unfolds, / as we continue to dig through years of bloat and patron requests and things. Anyway, I've rambled more than enough. I'm very excited about this. Let's go. Okay, so I'm not going to go into huge detail for both of the classes today. And I did say I was going to do a Beastmaster this coming week on min-maxing for fun and profit, and so I shall. But the next 2 weeks, we're definitely going to dive in much harder into these. But let's get a little bit off the top, shall we? First, the Magus. Weird to see him with a shirt on. Yeah, alright, fair enough. The big change for the Magus in 2E, no longer a spell strike, no longer a spell combat, because I guess like the way the 3 action economy works, we're all spell combating anyway. Striking spell is now our new shenanigans. Once per round, you drastically alter a spell to combine it with a martial attack. If the next action you use is to cast a spell that can target one creature or object, instead of casting it as normal, you put it into your weapon, or into your body to use with an unarmed attack, or like your tail if you're into Ruxy, I guess. If you hit with a melee strike using the receptacle for the spell is discharged, affecting only the target you hit. The spell still requires its normal spell attack roll or save, but you don't increase your map until after attempting both the discharging strike and the spell attack roll. If your discharging strike was a critical success, the degree of success is 1 better than what you rolled for the spell attack, or 1 worse if the target has to save. If you don't expend the stored spell with the strike before the end of your next turn, it is lost and dissipates harmlessly. The same thing happens if you take the striking spell action again, or if the weapon is used for a non-melee strike, like if you yeet it. A spell stored with striking spell can't be discharged by anyone but the caster, so yeah, that's almost exactly the same as how we saw it before. Except in this brave new world, you could hit somebody with your sword, but the shocking grasp within it might not necessarily go off. My gut reaction is that this is for balance's sake, so we aren't just jamming a boatload of damage into one single attack. I don't know, for our subclasses, our Magus synthesis, if you will, we got 3 so far. First, Shooting Star. You can place a spell in a ranged or thrown weapon when using Striking Spell and discharge the spell if you hit with a ranged strike. If the weapon uses ammunition, the magic is delivered through that ammunition. The spell has its effect on a hit only if the target is in range of the stored spell, so you still gotta be in spell range. You can't be like 5 million feet off with your longbow yeeting down. Slide Casting. Capturing a portion of your spell's magic to forcefully huck yourself through the air while storing a spell, whether that be by teleportation or being the Flash, your call, I guess. After you use Striking Spell and start casting a spell that takes 1 action or more to cast, you can stride or step as part of the cast spell activity. You choose whether to move before or after the other parts of casting the spell. Disrupting the movement does not disrupt the spell, and disrupting the spell does not disrupt the movement. You can stride or step only if you're storing a spell in a one-handed weapon or your body, and only if you have your other hand free. So that distinction is kind of weird for me. I suppose this is to prevent the majority of like 2-handed reach weapons getting to jump out of range and then hit somebody. Nevertheless, night crawling for days. That does look really fun. And certainly with our 8 hit points and maybe not the highest con in the world, being able to dance around does seem kind of strong. Sustaining Steel on the absolute other side of that. If you use Striking Spell to store a spell on a 2-handed weapon, when you finish casting the spell, you gain temp HP equal to either twice the spell's level if you use a spell slot, or its level if you didn't use a spell slot, like if it was a cantrip or a focus spell. This temp HP lasts until the end of your next turn, which does make you kinda tanky. Yeah, why not? If you're gonna get hit, at least be able to pad yourself up a little bit until the cleric can finish dusting you off. Of course, there's a billion feats in focus spells. We'll do that later. Summoner, a new iconic, not dragon, not jabberwock, not, I don't even know what that is. Stronger than both, perhaps? I don't know. Looks super neat, and it's super cool foreshadowing for my favorite part about the Summoner now. Bit more to talk about with this one, I guess. The Summoner, in fact, remains focused upon its Eidolon in this edition, but it's getting some changes. Choose what type of Eidolon you have from the options beginning on page 18. In the playtest, the options available and the spell casting tradition, because yeah, summoners are pulling from everywhere too. Seems on flavor if you're calling up a Cthulhu monster or a demon, or in our case, an angel, beast, devotion, phantom, or dragon for divine, primal, occult, and arcane respectively. When you choose your Eidolon, you also determine their appearance and general form within the parameters for that particular type of Eidolon, which is listed kind of like animal companions are. Once you establish your Eidolon's type and general appearance, these features can't later be changed. The link between you and your Eidolon takes the form of a magic glowing sigil on each of your bodies. The symbol can't be obscured, either magically or via mundane means. It either shines through the magic or appears over top of whatever you use to cover it. This sigil, combined with the way the two of you clearly act in tandem, make it readily apparent to an intelligent observer that the two of you have some connection with each other, even if that onlooker doesn't know what magic is. The Eidolon is not a minion, which is a huge record scratch for me. The summoner and the Eidolon, who by the way gets 10 hit points in this system, share actions, hit points, and the map. Each round you can use any of your actions and reactions for yourself or your Eidolon. Damage taken by either you or your Eidolon reduces hit points, while healing either of you restores, well, the same amount. If you or your Eidolon is affected by anything that would change a creature's actions, it affects your shared actions. In any case, if you are both subject to the same effect, you take the effect only once, so you can't get like double slowed. An Eidolon comes out for 3 actions. Your Eidolon appears in an adjacent open space. If your Eidolon was already manifested, choose whether to unmanifest them or teleport them to an adjacent open space. Of course, they must remain within 100 feet of you at all times and can't willingly go beyond that limit. If forced beyond this distance, or if you're reduced to 0 HP, your Eidolon's physical form dissolves, and you need to use Manifest Eidolon to manifest them again. You also get a pair of dope actions. First, act together. For one action with the tandem trait, that's a new one. You and your Eidolon each perform a single action. You choose which order the actions are taken, and you and your Eidolon can each take a different action. I move, you hit him, we both step into a flank, and then go ham, so on and so forth. Share senses, of course, lets you put your senses into your Eidolon, and lets you see the world as they do. Looks like evolution is a trait that appears later on in the summoner class feats, so you can buff out your Eidolon as you go, which is good because a cursory reading of some of these entries would indicate that, well, folks aren't exactly flying right off at level 1. There also doesn't seem to be nearly as much stuff in here as one might expect to see for one who literally wants to just optimize around summon spells. Personally, I'm kind of okay with that. Though some of them do exist, I always thought the pull of the summoner was to have just a build your own outsider monster, and so we have it. Also, secretly, I've always wanted to build someone who summoned like the equivalent of Gyarados. Train under a waterfall for all his life, do the Magikarp Gyarados mythology thing. Anyway, that's all the time I have for these. What are y'all thinking? Are we playing these? Are we stoked for them? I promise in the next couple of weeks, we'll break them down in further detail, build them up, and hey, remember, patronage at any tier could get you a Google Sheet where that build is stored up for y'all. And if you want to throw them at the table, higher tiers can make that happen as well. But thank y'all for your time. I will see you soon.